What's up, everybody? It's Izzy, and in this video what I want to talk about is my personal experience with alcohol and training. So for me, I probably did what a lot of you guys do out there, and that's that I would party on the weekends. So I would say on average I would get drunk, like pretty wasted, on average once or twice a week. So Friday and Saturday, and sometimes, it would only be Friday or Saturday, but then other weeks it would be Friday and Saturday, and then some special weekday reason. And for, you know how it goes with people who drink, they come up with reasons to go out and do that. So I would say on average, though, I probably drank and partied twice a week. And I just want to talk about what impact that had on my training. So I'm not here to evangelize and convince people that they should be sober. I'm literally just giving you guys an anecdotal data point so that you could maybe have something to think about if you are a partier and you would like to get better results from your training. So personally, I would say here's my situation. I went from drinking heavily twice a week on average to being completely sober. Now, I've had maybe one drink in the past 6 months, and a drink. I didn't get drunk. And in the last 90 days, I've had none. And in the last 6 months, I've probably gained, according to the Navy body fat method, which is, of course, you measure your waist and your neck, I've gained 10 pounds of muscle, and my waist measurement has gone down during that time period, despite me gaining weight. I've changed nothing about my training. I still do high-ish frequency, high-ish volume RPE training with quite a bit of movement variety. That hasn't changed. None of that has changed dramatically at all. Of course, I've optimized things, but not enough to get 10 pounds of muscle in 6 months. So the biggest change that I made that drastically improved the recovery side of the equation, because let's face it, guys, the most training that you can do and still recover is what gives you the best gains. And there's very few things that you can do to drastically improve your recovery. Optimizing your sleep is one of them, but if you're a heavy drinker, this isn't maybe something that you could consider. So for me, I would say that if it would have taken me, let's say 48 hours to recover from a squat workout, if I drank during that recovery period, it would now take me an extra day or so to recover. And if I drank twice, it would be 2 extra days to recover. So if you're following me here, by quitting drinking, I'm able to train all of my lifts about 1 time more per week. And because of that, I'm getting anywhere from 25 to 33%. So we'll say, 1/4 to 1/3 more volume than I used to do. And the cumulative effect of doing that much more volume, that's a huge volume increase, and still being able to recover, is that in the past 6 months, like I said, I've added about 10 pounds of muscle. I've gotten heavier while my waist measurement went down. Now, on top of that, of course, adding a bunch of muscle is going to increase your strength. And in that time period, people who have been following my training have probably noticed that despite the fact that I haven't changed much in terms of my training style, my total has probably gone up somewhere between 100 and 150 pounds. So that's something like 45 to 70 kilos or so in 6 months. And I've literally changed nothing about my training style. I've just been able to do a lot more volume and even recover better from the more volume that I'm doing, simply because I got rid of this huge impediment on the recovery side of the equation. And the other big thing that this has done for me is that it's made it a lot easier to stick to any sort of a macro-based plan. So obviously, if you're flexible dieting, right, you can fit a couple drinks into your macros as long as you don't have poverty macros. However, I'm going to wager to say that most of you have zero chance of fitting, a night of binge drinking out into your macros. And that's not even including, like the street food or something that you might have bought while you left the bar, or food that you bought at the bar, like wings or nachos or pizza or whatever it is. And I always used to rationalize this and say, well, I just don't like counting macros because it's too socially restrictive and I can't eat all my favorite foods. But what I found is that actually I was just rationalizing the drinking part. What didn't fit into my macros was the drinking. And as soon as I cut out the drinking, I'm still able to eat pretty much all of my favorite foods while sticking to a flexible dieting macro plan. It's not hard at all, and I still get to eat pretty much everything that I want. Of course, deep into a diet phase, you're going to have poverty macros, and you can't eat anything that you want. But when you're reversing or in a surplus or at maintenance, it's really not bad at all. And retrospectively, I realized that I was really just rationalizing wanting to drink instead of and just blaming macro counting as being the problem, as being too socially restrictive, when in reality, at least in my case, it was more of a issue with drinking. So overall, I've made massive improvements, mostly in my nutrition due to quitting drinking. And due to those improvements in nutrition, my recovery is so much better. And my, just overall diet is so much more on point that I've actually been losing fat and gaining muscle, like recomping over the past 6 months. And I'm bigger than I've probably ever been in my entire life right now. And my body fat is mostly decreasing, actually. So for those of you guys who are looking for ways to recover better, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, outside of like nailing your nutrition and getting better sleep, there's just really not that much you can do. People always want supplements. But one of the things that some of you guys can consider, especially if you're partiers and you want better results, is to just cut out the partying. Like I said, I was only doing it on average, once or twice a week, which is really a lot if you think about it. But it had enough of an impact on me, and I didn't even realize it, that in the last 6 months, I've made novice-like gains. I've gained 10 pounds of muscle and put, 100 to 150 pounds on my total. So again, my whole point with this video is not to convince anybody to do anything. It's just to give you my experience. And this has been my experience. So for those of you guys who do party a lot and maybe you're looking to get better results from your training, this is one of the first places that you could start to really improve your recovery and thus be able to handle larger training loads, which will, of course, in turn, result in more muscle and more strength in the long run. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. As always, my friends, have a nice day and good luck with your training. Peace.